Welcome. We're all here this evening because we share a belief that the Labour Party is divided, and because we share a belief that it can be united. Uniting the Labour Party means building a party where we can disagree profoundly on policies and electoral tactics, but still recognise one another as allies. Our party has distinctive shared values that go beyond the buzzwords that every party claims. We have a desire that everyone, not just those who are struggling, should be supported by welfare. We believe that the state can and should abolish poverty, that our foreign policy should be determined by values, not merely expediency or strategic interests, that the economy should be benefiting society, not merely private interests, and that the people have the right to claim the riches that their hard work has created, to receive the full fruit of their labour. These shared values do not mean that everyone in Labour agrees with one another, and they never have. From the beginning, as Keir Hardie said, socialism supplies the vision, but the party has never imposed a rigid test of dogma upon its members, or required them to believe that particular policies or tactics are the best way to move towards our vision. And right now, Labour is a mess. But this factional mess does not result from the pluralism that I've just described. In fact, it results from the opposite. People who want ideological uniformity, people who want everyone to agree on everything in the Labour Party, might fantasize about how united that would make it. But in practice, their refusal to recognise other Labour members as allies, as being on the same side, is what fuels factionalism. The challenge of saying that you're an anti-factionalist in an environment like the modern Labour Party, being a conscientious objector to the Labour Civil War, if I can use that phrase, is captured well, I think, by one of the responses to Labour Nexus's first ever post on social media. One of the Twitter replies said, "Not sure if malicious right-wing attempt to consolidate power, or sad but commendable soft-left naivety." This comment, though obviously I reject it, resonated with me because it reflected three important realities about the current state of play in Labour. Firstly, is that every faction claims to be factionless. Secondly, many people see unity in Labour as a myth. And thirdly, that the trust between the parties' different traditions is at a all-time low. You know what we in Labour Nexus think about the kind of unity that factionalists claim to be fighting for. The kind of unity where everybody believes the same thing really is a myth. Getting everyone in Labour to sign up to Benite democratic socialism, or pretending to agree 100% with a soft left or Blairite compromise manifesto is never going to work. The best test for whether someone is sincere in their commitment to ending factionalism is their willingness to cooperate with someone on whom they disagree profoundly with policy. For many of us, that comes without even thinking, because it means something that we're Labour. So perhaps there is something a little bit naive about Labour Nexus, in that we proudly and defiantly reject the cynicism that has started to overtake many decent Labour members. In the 1950s, people said that Labour would never win another election again, and Nye Bevan had to set them straight. People were saying it again in the 1980s, and then we did. They're saying it now, and it's time that we did what Nye Bevan did and set them straight. Factionalism can be fought, the party can be united, and a Labour government can be won again. If that belief makes us naive, then I'm proud to be naive. I think history will show that it makes us right, and it makes us the ones who kept the fire alive. But that doesn't mean that we should underestimate the scale of the challenge before us. It's sad but unsurprising that the comment on our first ever post assumed that anti-factionalism could be a dog whistle for silencing the left. And it's unsurprising because trust between the different traditions in the Labour Party is at a serious low point. In new Labour years, Tony Blair could say with a smile on his face that while Dennis Skinner had never agreed with a policy I'd done, it never once stopped him knowing the difference between a Labour government and a Tory one. Now those same socialists who stayed in the party and argued their corner through the Blair years are leaving the party because the factionalism under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership has destroyed the trust between those two wings of the party. The scars left by betrayals run deep. But then many members of the Democratic Socialist wing of the party have refused to give Keir Starmer a chance, castigating this man from the soft left of the party as hard right. And that factional warfare further dissolves the ties that binds us together. It perpetuates a cycle. It does nothing to unite the party. And frankly, that betrayal actions and it poisons the movement. So today we start the fight for something different. They agree with one another, but we do want them to recognize each other as allies. With members from every Labour tradition coming together in Labour Nexus, we want everyone to remember that they are on the same side. We equally reject calls from the left to silence all Blairites as we do calls from the right to silence all Corbynites. To purge woke liberals as we do calls from the social justice left to exclude Blue Labour's self-proclaimed social conservatism. Nor are we a soft left group calling for everyone to agree on the same moderate policies. As Clement Attlee said in 1949, we dead, dull uniformity. Unity does not mean uniformity, it means respect. We celebrate tonight as a Labour Party where campaign groups, members, MPs, activists, and academics feel that they can openly disagree about policies and tactics without that stopping them being allies. A Labour Party where we focus our energies on taking the fight for the Tories, the SNP, and the Liberals, and on convincing the voters, not wasting it on endless internal struggles. In other words, a Labour Party where we are all on the same side. That is what Labour Nexus is about.